Integra still all together. CRX. Timing belt is on. Gotta do some modification to the intake manifold today. I have the Integra's ECU all put back together. Should be all dried out now. We are going to re-upload the tune that my tuner just sent me through an email. I have my laptop charging right now. And yeah. Basically, before I take anything apart on the Integra, I just want to re-upload the tune, make sure that it was indeed corrupted, the tune, because of the water and everything. And now that it's all dried out, re-upload it and make sure that the values are all correct on the ECU before I start taking it apart, just so I know exactly what I'm going to be needing to get it back to where it needs to be. So yeah, I have my laptop charging right now. I have my ECU all put back together. Just got to plug it into the car. If all goes well with that, then tonight we will be taking stuff off of this car. So we're pretty stoked. I'm super happy where the CRX is at right now. I think it's at a good kind of like idle spot because we're going to be working on both of these cars in the next week or two. So yeah, let's get working on the Integra. Got the ECU hooked up. Just put power to the actual car itself. Just got to open up my laptop. It uploaded. And now the values look to be good. Let's see, map pressure, RPM. Let's do another gauge down here. Let's do, or actually new value for TPS, sensor. Just make sure that it's like reacting correctly. Oh, where's TPS? Here we go. 3%, that's normally what it stays to, which I have to adjust, but. All right, so press on the pedal right here, and it's adjusting, so it should turn on. So at least we know that the ECU is reading correctly now. It still sounded like it was misfiring a little bit, and from the looks of the AFR gauge, I know my sensor is starting to go out, but it was reading 3 dashes. And of course, that's that. So that would definitely still make sense why it sounds like it's misfiring, because it is most definitely misfiring. Still on time. 2, 3, and 4 are firing perfectly. All the runners got really hot except for, gosh, that one was really hot. Except for cylinder 1. You can lay your hand right on it, no problem. So we got to find out if that was an injector issue, a coil issue, or maybe there's water, or worst case scenario, maybe there's something in the bottom end that's not letting it fire over. So we're gonna pull this off and start going from there. Just went ahead and fired it up again, let the car run for a few seconds with the coil 1 and coil 2 switched. As you can see, I had it taken off right there. And the misfire still stays on cylinder 1. The runner is still fairly cold. The other ones are burning hot. So we know that all these 3 are firing, but the first one isn't. I don't think it's injector related, but yeah, we'll see shortly. Hey guys, so I decided to pull the head off right now. It's like 5 o'clock, and Florida's been getting kind of dark around 5:30, 6. So I really want to knock this out real quick, so I'm not really going to be recording too much of the process. I just got most of the connectors taken off. Some of the wiring broke, so I'm going to have to deal with that also. And yeah, basically right now all I have to do is take timing belt off, cams, then the head bolts or head studs, and the turbo kit stuff, and it should be good to pull in a couple minutes. So I'm just going to slam it out and hopefully still have a little bit of sunlight afterwards. Well, it's been like 15 minutes and now it's completely dark. The manifold turbo's off. Most of the wiring is disconnected or broken. And now it's basically cams and head studs. Yeah, let's just dive into it, I guess. All right, I think I have everything disconnected. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the head. Yeah, so I'm by myself, so I don't want to have the camera too close. Let's get started. Holy crap. Damn. Well, I found the issue. Damn. This is really weird. Good, I'm still recording. I was afraid that it was gonna turn off by accident. Right off the bat, you pull this, you can see the blowout on the gasket right over here, but what's strange about it, I'm gonna lift the gasket and show under it. Just put the camera. Sorry, my hands are all greasy, I'm tired, and sorry if this isn't gonna be real nice or whatever, but gosh. All right, here, let me show you at least. Bottom side of the gasket, blowout right there. That's a crazy blowout. It's not even like, it destroyed itself. Hang that right there. Look at this. Holy crap. And the sleeve, like the OEM sleeve, it looks like it's intact right here. But the insert or whatever, like right here, it's fine. You don't even see a crack on it or nothing, but back here, it's completely blown out. It's like melted. It almost looks like a detonated or something. Oh my God. Look at this. We have blowout in cylinder 1 right here. And on the head, you guys are gonna love this. Cylinder 1, crazy blowout right there. So just by speculating, we think that it was from when the head was warped or cracked, or maybe that's where the crack location that it was from having the issue of before. Heat sunk out of it or something, melted this, went into the cooling side of the block guard CSS. Since this is a failure on not the CSS itself, but it's a failure on the cooling side of things. If you look down here, the OEM inside sleeve is 100% fine. I can focus in on it. That's fine. When it comes towards the melt, it actually starts right here and then worked its way inside. So the outer OEM sleeve seemed to be messed up right there, and the inner looks completely fine right there. So heat related, absolutely. Oh, by the way, here's my L19s for you guys who didn't believe me that I actually had L19s in the car. There's the proof. Nice gold color. Golden Eagle adapted dowel pins, so that's all good. Nice, strong clamping force. Good gasket. Crazy. I've never seen something like that. Totally melted the side of the head, melted the inside or the outside of the sleeve, melted the gasket, everything, which is probably why it started misfiring so bad. And when I was pulling everything apart, cylinder 1 was dead. Remember that I switched the coils and it was still misfiring? So now we know exactly why. It was losing all of its compression through there. So See, from the looks of it, it's got to be the blowout from the head, because there's no blowout on the compression side right here on the block itself. But here, I'll show you. I'll match this back up to the head. It's losing compression through the head side because if I align this right, the OEM, how it lays or whatever, you can see that this goes not only from the outside where it's the blowout on the block, but it's also going into the combustion chamber right here. I'm sorry if I'm rambling and not explaining correct, but basically here's the coolant passage right there. The blowout on the block is on the coolant passage, and then the blowout on the head is on the head in the combustion chamber that goes to the coolant. So yeah, that's pretty much that. All right, guys, so that does pretty much sum up the video for today. I have the car back in the garage right now. I just realized also, why didn't I work on the car in the garage from the first place? I for some reason, when I pushed it out earlier for something, the hood had hit the garage door itself. So I was thinking to myself that I couldn't work on it in here. My brain fart or whatever. But the head's off. We found the issue. You can see on the actual head gasket the blowout. I actually got off the phone with Jeffrey, who's the owner of CSS. Really cool guy. Walked me through everything. We think that the problem was what lied within what you guys saw in the last video, which was that there was a head and head gasket issue that was relating to everything having its blowout and whatnot. So if you guys watch the last video, you know that there was some type of imperfection in the head. So what that imperfection in the head caused was a blowout on the gasket. When the gasket blew out, it was in the middle of a pass. It was about second gear, what I mentioned. And since I was already in it and I stayed in it, the blowout lost all its compression right there, and it blew basically spark and compression and ignition. The fire of the cylinder, it blew it into the head and into the block. So it melted the head on the aluminum part, obviously, and then it melted the block on the aluminum part. So it kind of just killed everything at that point. Let me show you like a visual aid. So let me show you the head gasket. Blew out right there on cylinder 1, completely melted. And right there, cylinder 1, melted it out right there. And then think of this right here, that's the cooling area. And let's go over to the block and show you the cooling area. You have the coolant passages go through there, and then that melted in towards the outside of the OEM sleeve. If I get closer, I can actually show you. Right here you have, if I can focus, right here you can see it better right there. The OEM iron sleeve right there, and then you see another color shade. That's the OEM aluminum outside of the sleeve, and then this is the CSS right there. And coming over here, you can see it melted into the cooling. It melted like where the coolant goes, because that's where the blowout was. And then it melted on the outside of the OEM sleeve. But what is insane is that the sleeve is 100% intact. There is no crack whatsoever. You would have thought that that would have had a crazy blowout, especially because it was on such a high amount of boost and there was a middle of a pass blowout. You would think that the block would have torn itself to pieces. If you're one of the older subscribers from earlier 2017, I think it was, when my motor blew up last time, it was an injector failure that caused it, and a sleeve cracked, and the whole sleeve was just absolutely destroyed from top to bottom. That was an insane breakage, but with the CSS support, the cylinder support system, our sleeve is 100% intact. Obviously, I'm not going to stick to this block since the outer area of the sleeve is completely melted. You probably could weld that back together. I'm not going to say you can. I'm not going to say you can't, because that's not my area of expertise. Really, none of this is my area of expertise. It's all speculation at this point, but I'm going to say that I'm confident enough to say that it doesn't seem like something you should repair. But basically that pretty much sums up the issue that the car was having. Gasket blowout, melted head, and melted block. So we have a head on the way. The block, I'm going to look at a few options. I really wanted to do CSS's higher horsepower rated CSS block. So this is the $325 one that you can get online, which is just regular CSS. I think it's rated up to 500 or 700 horsepower, like as a top. And then their race one is rated up to 800 plus, if I'm not mistaken, with O-rings. It's like $70 more for the higher horsepower one, plus 200 for the O-rings. And I didn't get it originally because they didn't have the option, I think, when I bought it, or maybe I overlooked it. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, I think I'm gonna do another CSS block. I just have to look at a few options. Obviously, I have to make sure that everything fits within the budget. The CRX was getting most of the budget, and I kind of want to put that not on hold, but maybe put that away for a week or two while I see what I'm going to do with the Integra. So see if I can move some money around and actually get the budget where it needs to be for this. And yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch with the build on the channel, on Instagram, on Facebook, and all that. We definitely want to see what we can come up with. Probably won't be done by the end of the year. It's November 19th right now. It'll probably be like a month or two before everything's back together. But we most definitely want to come out bigger and better than before. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You know, I always love reading the comments, like I mentioned in the last video. Even though if I don't respond to 100% of them, I read every single one. I make it one of my top priorities when it comes to the channel. If you guys enjoyed the video or liked what we found, even if you aren't a fan of what we found, because obviously nobody likes to see a broken motor, leave a like for us. We really appreciate that. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your nights. And remember, if you ever have an issue with your car or an issue with your race car, don't let it bring you down, because these are just material things that can be replaced. They can be fixed. But as long as you're safe and you're healthy about it, that's all that really matters. But thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and take a good one, or have a good one. Be a good day. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.